Imagine you meeting God and wondering if she smoke. Imagine you seeing God walking out the liquor store. I done seen it before. Everything I'm doing now, I sat and dreamed it before. Cause once upon a time, I begged for what I needed before. But then I learned that all I had to do was be it before. I found my light and stood up in it like my name was Theotis. Took a flight for new beginnings, hope the universe noticed. And now my home turf cheering me on. Feel like the whole.
Welcome to my channel. I'm your favorite cousin, but are you mine? If you are, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share if you care. Somebody who stood out on Love Island for me, and that is Belle. How I initially felt about Belle carried throughout the episodes that I've seen so far, it hasn't really changed much. And it has me really confused as to why people come on certain shows and then go against the grain of the show and then wonder why they aren't liked as much or have a negative outcome. It has me wondering, like, have you even seen the show? You have to have seen the show. Belle had me thinking, like, what was the process for auditioning and casting for Love Island? Because they had to have told her there's a lot of kissing involved, there's a lot of touchy feely, steamy conversations, promiscuity, a lot of sex, like that type of thing going on this show. So I don't know if she knew that, why she would come on the show and act the way she did. Like, has she not seen any of the previous seasons? You have Love Island US, Love Island UK, Love Island Australia, probably some other Love Islands as well that I haven't seen. Like, there's so much out there that could show you what is to be expected, baby girl. So if you know what kind of show this is, why would you come on here if it's not for you? Like, did you come for followers or what? Now, I'm not saying there's one way to do the show, but the way she came and did it, I feel like it's not doing her any favors. I feel like she would have fit in better if she went over to Too Hot to Handle. They would have loved her over there. She could have been the 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 prize pot police, making sure nobody touched, nobody kissed, nobody even thought about doing anything. Baby, then you wouldn't have had to feel no pressure about kissing somebody, about touching somebody, cuddling up with somebody. You know, you could have been kissed on the cheek just fine if that doesn't go against the rules. You could have did that with no problem. It wouldn't have you questioning your self worth or anything, any of the things you're doing on this show to try to prove a point to somebody, and y'all don't even have the same values. You wouldn't have had to do none of that had you went over to Too Hot to Handle. But it brings me back to Temptation Island. The girl named Amaya. Oh, I'm a Christian. I'm a good girl. I'm not gonna do too much of anything. I'm not interested in that because I have standards about myself. So why would you go to Temptation Island if you're a Christian and you're all about God and you deep in your faith? Like, I'm not understanding that about these girls. And that's no shade to them. You know, do what you do. Be for God if you are for God. But don't go on Temptation Island if that goes against what you believe deep in your heart, how you should be acting. Alright, episode 1. Right out the gate, Belle was saying she was looking for a husband. And I say, uh-oh. You looking for a husband, girl? On this show? Okay. Then she said she had one relationship. I said, uh-oh, again. It's just red flags going all over the place at this point. She said she was 22 years old and a Christian. And that threw me for a loop because I'm sure it's probably a whole bunch of Christians on here, but that's not what you lead with on a show like this, because this is not a godly show. You're not about to be a Christian on the show. You're about to do some ungodly things. Nobody cares you're a Christian on Love Island. So in this episode, they did the coupling up initially, where you're just going off of looks. You see somebody you like, you want to couple up with them. They were given the choice to kiss two different people that they liked, and then based on the kiss or whatever your thought process is, you choose who you want to couple up with. Everybody was going crazy with the kissing. It gets to Bella, and when it's time to kiss, tells them to kiss her on the cheek. So they start making fun of her, calling her prom queen. And she said she has a strict no kiss on the first date policy. Maybe it ain't finna be no dates on the show. So what you finna do? Ain't no dates on this show. So what are you about to do?
Paul, why is you here?
There are no dates. There's no nothing. You just kissing your way through this show. I knew she wasn't gonna, she wasn't gonna get far. I couldn't see her making it to the end with this strategy she has going on. Two bombshells came in and participated in the secret kissing challenge. Nick was chosen to spend the night in the hideaway with Sierra. It rattled Belle a little, which was the beginning of her questioning herself.
Or did you get up?
Yeah, I didn't get up.
Yeah.
Which I know Nick got up. So it's like, someone's a little bit more comfortable in this,
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's a little like, oh shoot, that kind of sucks. And
Yeah.
like only you and I know what
I
it
know,
feels like
I
right
know,
now.
I
So,
know.
like, I can only hope that Nick doesn't go too crazy tonight. But I know one thing for sure. I hope that he'll be upfront and honest with me. What happens, happens.
She was very vocal about how she was beginning to feel that their connection was threatened. Nick was kissing other people. She had already began claiming she was single because Nick was in the hideaway overnight. And she was low-key being territorial over Nick, and that has been flying under the radar in some of these reviews I've been seeing. Belle has been exhibiting some very territorial behavior, kind of like Huddle, but not as hardcore. Anyway, Bella admitted that it was a reality check for her and that she was interested in mingling with Charlie, the new guy bombshell. Now, to her credit, she did make an attempt at seeking another connection, but I don't know if it was genuine or just something she did just to distract herself from what Nick had going on.
And I would hope and trust that he is open and honest. And if he makes me look like a fool right from the beginning,
I'm walking in the hideaway. She's just like sitting there, and I'm like, let's go.
Nick was low-key telling her that she needed to step it up if she wanted his attention. He had told Bella that he came to the villa to explore and that it's not too far-fetched to kiss somebody else.
But we did kiss, but that was it.
that's crazy.
So I feel like that's just like exploring, I guess.
And how do you feel about it?
It was good.
Like, where do you stand?
I'm like, my brain is so split in half.
And at the end of episode 2, he stood up when asked if he wanted to recouple with Sierra, and he was chosen by Sierra. On the one hand, Nick was being honest about how he was feeling, but I also think he was using his rating to manipulate Bella, like 50-50, 80-20, 50-50. He once again brought up to Bella that they agreed to explore their options. But she lost me when she told him that the ball was in his court. Because, girl, why? Like, you need to keep your agency. Why would you tell him the choice is his? Like, you're just gonna sit around waiting for him to decide whether it's you or Sierra, which is what she was doing. At some point in episode 3, she was crying and questioning her self worth. And Huda said, if you gotta question yourself, you're not around the right people. You're around the wrong people. And I agree. So going over to Too Hot to Handle.
I feel like my value gets looked over.
Don't
like,
change.
I
Do
know
not.
that I'm a
That's all I have to
high value person, and I just feel like it's
Don't-
like not just by people here, but it's something that I've dealt with.
You're just around the wrong people.
I'm not crying over this boy who I just met 3 days ago. I am just emotional for this entire experience.
My word of advice is never place your value in sex. It'll have you questioning your self-worth at every turn. Bella, who was not as experienced, and Sierra, who was very experienced, both were wondering if they were good enough for Nick. Episode 4 and beyond, I noticed that Bella starts to play the game, but by now, I already think it's too late. Nick had already told her her standards are too high. The bar is high. And he said it's scary high. Bella told Nick that she liked him once he chose Sierra or something like that. And Sierra came and snatched him up right away, and Nick let her. Later on at the baseball challenge, she chose Charlie as first base, who was her first kiss out of all the guys, and it made Nick jealous. And it makes me wonder why he wasn't placed higher, since he was the only other guy that she really talked to like that. And that goes back to the thought that it was to make Nick jealous, since he had been seeing her talk to Charlie, you know, here and there. And he was. He made a big deal about he wished he was the first kiss and da 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 da, and it's like, who cares who's the first kiss? At least, you got kissed. But yeah, I'm noticing like a game of cat and mouse. Once she finally kissed the guys, it felt forced and unnatural to me. And I feel like Bella needed to be true to herself. She said she felt empowered, but I don't think she did, because up until this point, she talked about how she had high standards and her self worth was from not engaging in, so much stuff with so many people. So the fact that she broke down and finally did what she spoke against for so long, it made me feel like she didn't feel empowered. She just did it as a power move against Nick. But again, I think it was already too late. Ultimately, Bella got sent home
Just go home, Roger.
because his 50-50 was 100-0 for a while. He just wanted to see if Bella would be as fun as Sierra, and his answer was no. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments what you feel about everything. Was Bella one of your faves? Do you think she deserved the treatment that she got from Nick? Do you think she should have been on this show? Do you agree with me that she should have been on Too Hot to Handle? Do you think Bella's baseball game performance was genuine? Do you think it empowered her? Let me know everything y'all think in the comments. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and drop a kissy emoji. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.
They call me lost when I wander. I go as far as I wanna go. Temptation try pull me under, but I won't let